Good morning. So, divine feminine, this is a calling to come back into your own power, to find your own power, to quit chasing breadcrumbs. As long as you're chasing breadcrumbs, you're never going to get the cake. As long as you are settling for less or treating yourself when you are chasing in the chasing energy and you're running after whatever you can get, it is coming from a place of scarcity, a place of not feeling worthy, a place of the sun is coming up behind me through the windows. I'm getting into the sunlight. When you are coming from that place of scarcity, it is a place of weakness, a place of unworthiness, a place of feeling like you have to chase after in order to achieve or in order to receive. So it is not in that place of your divinity, of your divine feminine. Divine feminine attracts. Divine feminine does not need to chase. Divine feminine knows her worth. Divine feminine doesn't live somebody else's story. As long as you're chasing after somebody else's story and waiting for them to realize you, waiting for them to realize your life and to make you worthy, and putting all of your worth on that, then you are depleting your own divinity. You are depleting your power. You are treating yourself as if you are worth less and putting all of your power in somebody else's hands. They don't want to hold your power. Nobody else, divine masculine, doesn't want to have to hold up his own power and hold up your power. You need to get away from that story. Get away from his story. Allow him to go do him. There is a reason why there is a separation. If you are chasing, then that other part is running. It's like an energetic field that is connected. And if you're pushing this way, they're going that way. And if you're pulling, they are, well, I guess it's the pushing. So if you are pushing, then you are never going to, as long as you are doing this push pull, you're over here, there is no balance. So it's like, you could see it like two droplets of energy that met and combined in some kind of energetic entanglement. Some kind of, it's like two droplets of water that intertwine. You can never pull them back apart. That's it, they are intertwined. So you can see energy works the same way. So if, let's say, like two droplets, when they meet and they intertwine, you can never exactly remove those droplets again. So there is a connection there that is, you are bound. And until you learn how to balance your own energy, when you start coming into your wholeness and your balance your own energy, then you will balance the counterpart's energy as well. And then you can both live in harmony, regardless if on the physical plane there is a connection. So as long as you are chasing, that is not the divine feminine energy. As long as you are chasing, you are in that scarcity, fear-based energy that is not that beautiful, all-knowing, self-worthy energy. So when you come into your own divine energy, it can happen instantaneous, just like that. It's a realization. It's a flip of a switch. It's going from being in that chasing to being in that owning it, and to being in that pulling all the energy back into yourself and knowing what your worth is. And then your outer circumstances will change just like that. Once you step into your divine feminine and you realize it within yourself, everything around you will come into sync with that, will realize your strength with you, will see your divinity with you. It can't be different. You get to tell the world who you are. If you tell the world that you are desperate and you are changing, that is how the chasing, then that is how the world will treat you. When you come back and use this whole adventure to your power, to your advantage, to what it has come to teach you, then you come into this beautiful, harmonious, knowing energy where you don't need that outside validation anymore. And that is a magnetic energy. That is divine feminine. That is a pure tone energy. And another thing on this, when we fully understand that this journey is there to serve us and that all parts of the journey are divine, even the chasing part, we have to go through that in order to come into our light, in order for us to self-realize ourselves. We have to, I'm making coffee, we have to go through that stage. That is part, so we can be lenient with ourselves and knowing that that is part of this journey as well. You know, I know that we're also going through these intense energies of the chasing mode and trying to achieve, but we also have this shame in it at the same time. So it's like we're going against ourselves, and we feel ashamed. Really is the word. We feel ashamed that we are in this mode and that we are chasing, because within ourselves we know that we are divine feminine, and we don't want to be in this energy, and we never have been in this energy before. And so really our inner selves know that we are worthy. And so in this way, our inner selves is kind of telling us, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I'm going to close that curtain now. The sun has come up and it's kind of blinding and also kind of uneven for the video, kind of blotchy. And so I do want to tell you also to be lenient with yourself and be forgiving with yourself, and understand that that is part of the journey. That has to be there so you can forgive yourself and understand that that is part of it. That has come to serve us. That has come to serve us so that we can have that chasing that knocks us out of our monotone life, that wakes us up. It sends us into spiraling into our spiritual awakening, and the constant chasing and not being able to achieve. Because as long as you're chasing, you'll never be able to achieve. As long as you're chasing, you are getting those breadcrumbs. As long as you're chasing, you are trying to find those little pieces of satisfaction that you can get outside of yourself, when actually, when you pull all of that energy back, you get the full cake, you get the full pie, you get yourself as a gift. And that's so much sweeter. You get the constant satisfaction rather than just the little breadcrumb satisfactions that you get when you are chasing. Because when you're chasing, you really never get that full, deep, wonderful, beautiful satisfaction. You get little glimpses of it. But you don't get that full mother load as you do when you pull the energy back to yourself and you realize that you are divine feminine. You do not need to chase. It is a given. You are of a light of God. You are a part of creation, a beautiful part of creation. And in that knowing, you have satisfaction. Now, when you do pull that energy back to yourself, while you're pulling the energy back to yourself, I want to thank you for the coffee. I want to assure you, because when we pull the energy back to ourselves and we come into divine feminine, we will still fall out. There's a shaking. When you come into your divinity, there's still a shaking. So you still will fall out and come back, fall out and come back. And when you are in your divine femininity, when you are in your divine feminine, anchor it in as much as possible. Anchor in that feeling. Know that you are divine. Milk it as long as you can, so that when you do fall out, you will have an anchor back, and you will have the map, and you will have a knowing that you do have that place that is waiting for you to step into it fully. So when you are shaken back out to do some more work, because when we come into our divine femininity, when we come into our divine feminine selves, we have shed all of the falsities. We have come into a spiritual alignment with our self. We have come into ownership over our avatar, and we have come into our full power as a creator. We have come into a whole. We have come into inner union. That's something that's used a lot. We have come into self mastery. And until you come into full self mastery, see, we keep on coming into, as we rise and as we come into self mastery, there will be little darknesses that we have to go back down and repair a little bit, and then come back. And then we'll hit up, the outer world gives us contrast, it gives us stimulation. So as we go through life and we come into circumstances, those circumstances give us opportunities to do more repair work. And as we become more and more aware of ourselves, we become and take responsibility for ourselves, we become more and more aware of reactions that we are receiving from the physical world, and understanding that we are responsible for them. So we start saying, oh wait, if this is happening, we start taking responsibility. So whenever something isn't aligned with us in the outer world, then we feel those negative, what we perceive to be negative feelings, which are our emotions, are our guidance system, right? So we, as Abraham Hicks always says, our emotions are our guidance system, and they are, as long as they are aligned with the right thought processes. So that's why we also have to watch our emotions, because they're not always giving us the right signal until we completely purify ourselves and purify our emotions, and then our emotions become an absolute guidance system. But as long as our emotions are attached to wrong ways of thinking, in belief systems that are false, then they will be giving us false. Let's say, for instance, somebody that was raised in a very, very religious family, it was taught that if they do something, then they're doomed. Something that is minor, that they might have a false belief, and that will trigger a emotion that is attached to a false belief, and then they can't trust their emotions to guide them. That is why there is the repair work. We have to use our mind, and our emotions have to work together in a marriage, kind of, and create a belief system, which a belief system is really a thought that we continue to think. And a lot of times these thoughts are on automatic. A lot of times, most of the time, they're on automatic. And so as long as we are still in repair, the more we become aware of ourselves, the more we start taking responsibility, and the quicker the work goes. It's like the spiral goes, it starts getting quicker and quicker. But we will get knocked off of our high horse, right? The divine feminine high horse that we arrive to when we're up in our magnetic higher selves, which feels so good. And you'll hit up against something where you're not divine yet, you'll be knocked right back down into the 3D world. Go do some work, smack. And the pain, the difference in the level of being on that high white horse and being dropped back down into like the the swamp of the 3D of doing some more work becomes so uncomfortable because it is so far away from where you're already sitting that you do that work really fast. You go through that pain as quickly as possible so you can get right back up on that high horse. And that's why when you're on that high horse, anchor it in as much as possible. Um, Quit chasing. Quit. Just know that it is possible to quit chasing. I know those chasing went on this twin flame journey. Those chasing. And it feels like you have to. And there is part of this process that you do have to. That is, you have to, in order to be able to overcome it, you have to do it. And as long as you're putting all of your attention over there in the chasing, your divine feminine is depleting and becoming desperate and empty, and your world is becoming empty. When you are able to pull all of that energy back to yourself, quit looking in that other pot over there, what's going on. Divine masculine's doing whatever the divine masculine's doing, and it is their business, and they're doing what they need to do on their own life journey to heal themselves. And you can really look at it as like, we are privileged. We are privileged to have a divine counterpart. We are privileged to have a mirror that we can look at that will reflect ourselves back to us, even with all of the pain in it. And there's so much pain in it. Even with all the pain in it, that pain comes to serve a purpose. It comes there to purify you. That pain comes so that you can lift out of it. And it's a teacher for you. It teaches you all of the places that you are out of sync with your higher self. So you can use that to your advantage. See, where's this eye? It's healing. You can use that for your advantage to amplify or quantum leap your spiritual awakening. Think of how far we've come since we've met our counterpart, and just in that you can see that we are blessed. And so once you take all of that energy that you didn't even know that you had, it's like all of a sudden that kundalini wakes up and you have all of this energy, that this massive surges of energy that you are using to chase breadcrumbs. And as long as you're chasing, you're never achieving. So you're using all of that energy for it's like having the power of the universe at your fingertips and using it for child's play instead of taking all that energy back to yourself. And once you do, it comes from inside. It's like, and you become this divine being, master of your own self. Your own light starts shining out, and you become a healer for other divine feminines, for feminine to have an anchor as a healed energy, as what it looks like. You begin to heal just in your own being. You heal divine masculine, masculine that meet you by meeting a healed feminine. It heals the masculine within them. So this is a much bigger than just the journey. This is much bigger than just you. You have come to serve a divine purpose. And once you get your head out of it, once you get aligned with yourself, and once you pull your energy back from that chasing mode, then you can be that. Then you can find your divine purpose. Your divine purpose, not only do you find it, it finds you. All of a sudden there is room for it to be expressed through you. You don't even have to do anything but be. It wants to be expressed through you. And once you relax, it's like the water is, it's like a torrent. It's like your energy is like, you can imagine torrents of water. And once you calm the water, whatever needs to come to the surface comes to the surface. You come to the surface of your own light, of your own life, and your life becomes full in itself. And it doesn't matter. At some point on this journey, you completely give up. It's like you've depleted all options and you're tired of it. You're tired of the chasing. You're tired of crumbs, of breadcrumbs. You're tired of trying to make something outside of you fulfill you or fill your life. And you realize that it seems small. You don't want those games anymore. You don't want that small life anymore. You're tired of just patching your own life, because as long as you're in that chasing mode, your life is depleted and you're just patching. You're making patches on your life just so that you can keep your life up, so that you can keep the chase up. It's like an addiction. And so you're sick of having a patched up life. You're like, okay, well, in the meantime, he can go do his thing. Let me bring the energy back to me, and let me, uh, 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 let me, it's almost like nourish my life. Let me see what I can do magnificent with my own life. I want to live a magnificent life. I want to quit looking at what I perceive to be as a magnificent life over there, and what would be, and oh, it's so, I'm the victim, and I can't live without divine masculine, and why aren't they choosing me, and all of the chasing things that we tell ourselves, and bring all that energy back to me and my life, and start um, giving that energy into the things that are in my life, into my own projects, my love projects, my art, my children, my home. Start making my life a life that I want to live, and something that um, is magnificent and a representation of my highest timeline. The dream life that I have always dreamt to live, start bringing that into reality. And it's more simple to bring that into reality than you think. You can, I was listening to a talk by Bashar yesterday, and he was saying about how you imagine your life as it is right now. Just look at it as it is without trying to make it anything different than it is. Just move outside of it for a second and look in and see what it is. And then look at the imagined life that you want to live, and compare the two. Put the two side by side in a picture, and compare and see what the differences are, and see what the differences in your own self are, the behaviors, and you can step into those behaviors instantaneously, because if you can already imagine them, they are in existence. They are a possibility. And you can look even at the smallest details, just make a change, a movement towards that. So change. If you have a different way of dressing there, change that. If you have a different behavior there, change that. If your mannerisms are different there, move towards that. You can make those changes instantaneously, and the outside world will automatically um, get into sync with you, and you can make massive changes in your outer world a lot quicker than you think by changing your inner world. So once you change your inner self, the outer world will say, I'm missing words, and then I feel like I keep on talking because I'm missing those words, but they will respond. The outer world will respond immediately. And I see that with my children as well. When something in me shifts and something all of a sudden doesn't sit well with me, my children instantaneously, they make a change to accommodate it, because they see that it is something that is non-negotiable. And so once you change yourself non-negotiable, the outer world responds to it immediately, and the outer world will begin to change. Not only will you change towards the outer world will change for you. I see this is getting kind of long, and I really have I'm enjoying a lot of the points that I have in this video so far. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this here. Thank you so much for watching. This was a good one. I'm sending you guys so much strength and power. Pull that energy back to you as well as you can, and be lenient with yourself. Understand that this path is divinely written and divinely guided, and all of the parts of it, even the parts that we're ashamed of, because I know when we start pulling our energy back to ourselves, we're like, oh no, the shame in it. I was so desperate, the chasing, that was so, but it couldn't have been different. That is what has happened in order to bring you into into this point of your divinity, this point of your divine feminine, into this point of understanding who you are. It has come to strengthen you and to teach you. So be lenient with yourself and understand that that was part of it. This is part of something that's much bigger than you. That behavior had to have been there in order for you to overcome it, because had it not been there, you could not have overcome it and arrived at the strength and the place that you are now. So I'm sending you guys so much love and strength on this journey, and understanding and compassion, and having compassion towards myself as well in the same spots that we've spoken about. So thank you for watching.